Okay, I was kind of worried about this. This week 2, and I was wondering would I be as fully engaged in this as I was on week 1? And guess what? I absolutely was. Let's talk about 911. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. Like I said, I when it comes to me and new types of shows, and I kind of was sitting back, I really enjoyed the first episode of 911. I did. I really, really enjoyed it. The acting was good. Everything was put together really, really well. And again, it's Ryan Murphy. So it was really good. And I was wondering, okay, this is still at its core, it is cops and robbers. So come on, James, how long are you going to stick in? How long is it going to hold your attention? Impeccable. I'm all in. So let's talk about this episode. We start right off. We see 2 little guys, and they're standing in line at a fair, and they are waiting to go on this roller coaster. The heavier guy is scared to death. He is just absolutely scared to death. And you can see it in the other guys telling him, oh, no. Come on. And then he plays on to the male ego. There's these 2 girls in front of us, and they're going to be, if we walk out of line right now, they're going to film us and put us on social media and make fun of us and say that we're just pussies. That whole thing. So the whole teenage, young adult thing. So he goes ahead and goes through with it. And I still always say, you always follow your first mind. Whatever your first mind is telling you, that's what you need to follow. If your first mind is telling you don't put your fat ass on a roller coaster, and I love roller coasters, but if your fat ass tells you don't put your big ass on a roller coaster, then I would say don't. Whatever your first mind is telling you, you will learn. I've been here a long time. Something will happen that make you say, damn, I knew that I shouldn't do this. You know what I mean? And not to get too far off, I've literally been on my way on a road trip. I was actually going to DC to visit my brother. And my first mind just did not line up with it. It was a trip that I had actually planned for months. Had taken time off work of everything. I literally pulled off of the parkway and turned around and called him and told him I'm not coming. Something in my core said don't do it, don't go. And I literally pulled off the road and did not come. And he knows I'm very much that way. Very much that way. And generally something goes down that I don't know in that instance that it would have been something or what it would have been, but I knew something in the core of me said don't do it. So I don't know if there was something that was going to go on the road on the way there or once I got there. I don't know, but I did not come. And he was like, okay, I think he learned at that time, this is really serious with this boy. This boy really doesn't kind of go against. And I have, I'm not perfect. I have gone against, that feeling in the past, and it always ends up being something. It's always something. There's always something. There's always something that goes on, and it is what it is. And I'm gonna throw out a nugget that y'all all know about. I had one of those feelings about going to Vegas when Vegas Gate happened. Sean Bradley can stand right on camera. Y'all go over and ask Sean Bradley, did James or did James not have one of those feelings of saying that he should not come to Vegas? I had one of those feelings. It had to do with a certain specific person, and did some shit not go down that is still hovering over. It was nothing that I couldn't handle, but shit went down. Had I not gone, shit would be different right now to this day. Okay, so right there. And like I said, y'all feel free to question Sean Bradley. Am I or am I not telling the truth? And on that, I'm getting down off my soapbox. Boom, 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 bam, and I'm back. Fat ass didn't want to get on. Fat ass went and got on. I knew then something was going to happen because I said, look at your fat ass. And they tried to pull that bar down, and it just did snap. Soon as they got into the good momentum of the ride, the bar snapped. The little other belt didn't take care of little Skinny. So we got the two. They look like Laurel and Hardy. Maybe they hit the heel and the up and over, and the little thin guy shot straight up and out. Died on impact. Hit the ground. He died. The other one, by the time it went in through the loop variation, the car had to be stopped, and Fat Ass is hanging upside down. Then they bring in our people. Our people come in. We got Buck, Officer Buckley. He goes up. He did, because he'll do the daredevil stuff. He's up there. He climbs up there. Whole thing. He's trying to help the guy. He's talking him through, and of course he's afraid. He's scared, and he's literally hanging there by just the strength of his arms. He's a real big guy. And he's telling him, he's like, doing everything he needs to do. Everything's boom, right on point. Something, don't even worry about it. The guy, they wouldn't even say that the friend was dead, because they didn't want the people to panic on top or any of that. So he's like, everything's fine. Don't they, and it was so interesting how they did this. I thought it was so smart, because there's another thing going on with this show, that you learn different things, that I'm sure that the research has been done, and some of this stuff is the way that things are really done. To keep things going, where they actually put the body on a gurney, so it wouldn't cause the public reaction. They actually put the body on the gurney like they could help it, but they knew his ass was gone, baby. But it was so smart and so quick. But that was the captain. And I said, I never really thought about that kind of thing. I was like, I love this. The way this actually rolls. And I says, okay, so he gets him up there. They're going back and forth. And I'm listening to him. He refused to help himself. He is going on through this other thing, and I'm like, he got a lot of self-esteem issues that's going on here. He's worried about the people filming, and I don't want people to see me like this, and please tell people to stop filming with their cameras. And do you think I give a shit about somebody filming with their camera and my ass is holding all my weight in the inversion of a loop on a damn roller coaster, and you're worried about people filming you with a phone? I said, he got a lot of other issues going on. There's some more to this. I said this right while I was watching. I was like, something's going on. Anyway, so Buckley is trying to get him to come on and give him his hand. And they're like literally in reach of he's like, just trust me. Give me your hand. I can't do it. Yes, you can. And we can see that he just literally let go. He literally let go with both hands. I would have been okay with it if he had let go the one hand to do it and the shifted away. It wasn't nothing like that. It was nothing like that. You could see he literally let go. This started a problem with Buck. That's the first person, he's only been on the job less than a year. This is the first person that he has lost. And it started this whole chain of events with him. So he's running around, of course, the heroic of climbing up there singularly and all of that. They have him on, basically like a hero, even though the lives were lost. But he's having this internal thing all throughout the program because of the lives that were lost. Like, we didn't save them, so why am I being celebrated? Because he was being celebrated just because of the bravery of it, period. So this is what gets started. Okay, so then we go to Abby's house. Abby is the 911 operator with the mother that has the dementia and Alzheimer's. And something good for her actually is taking place in this episode. We meet Carla Price. Carla Price is a African-American woman who comes to the house from the agency, and she is one of those people that God commissions to do certain things. Because there are people who are commissioned to work with old people, with older individuals, and they just have a way about them. They just, the way they move, they have a patience level that they can do different things, and you see that a lot in people that work with the elderly, people who work with foster children, people who work with children who are considered bad. Um, uh, just people that have certain situations. There's a lot of people that can do it, but there's people who are literally, it is just like second nature with them. She is one of those people. And she came in, and they were right in the middle of a crisis. Because everybody who's been working with Abby previously, they are late, they come when they want, they leave early, just all kind of mess. She just had issues with these state workers, you know what I mean? And state or county, whatever they are, they're just full of shit is what they are. She was on time. She came in there, she diffused that situation right away, and she was just a person that you could just take to. Okay, so that's what happened. And it's like they created a friendship like effortlessly on the first day of work, and that was it. So she came in. Her mom was locked in the bathroom. She had locked herself in the bathroom. She talked her right out of the bathroom 5 minutes, where Abby couldn't even get it going. So that actually had taken place. Right at the end of the day, and I'm figuring it's like that first day, or maybe I'm thinking it might have been that first day, or it may have been the first couple days. But she asked her, "Do you want a glass of wine? I'm so tired." And she tells her, "Oh yeah, I'm having some problems with my husband." And this, that, the other. And you see the friendship creating. Well, she starts talking to Carla about Buckley. And, because they had the interaction or whatever. And she says, sounds to me like you kind of like him. She says, everybody's talking about him. He's the hot stud fireman, this, that, thing, the other. She said, you should go ahead and call him. You should call him. And she's like, well, I just wanted to call him. Because what Abby sees is that he has an issue. She dealt with it, and she was right. She ends up taking Carla's advice. She goes to the other room. She calls him and figures out right away. She said, I called you because I saw that you're not feeling the way that everybody else is feeling. And I just wanted to offer myself and say, you know what, you can talk to me. I know how that feels. I know kind of what you're going through. I've been doing this a long time, this, that, thing, and the other. And you could kind of see with the two of them, he was really cool to talk to her, and you seen like a little thing. And it wasn't like a whole like, ooh, I like you kind of thing. But it was like, damn, somebody gets it, So that was, I said, well, check that out. And yes, there is a big age difference there, Not a big age difference, but there's an age difference there. It's given cougar teeth. So I was like, all right, but she's sharp. She's sharp with her beautiful red hair and all of that. Child is what it is, and he liked to screw. So I think he'll be okay. I don't know. We're going to get to see later on. Anyway, so that went on. Okay, so then we got a 911 call, and it's a dog attack, and it's Athena, which is played by Angela Bassett. And she goes, we see her like running through, and she's going to like a burger joint and getting fries and a burger and all that. Like, what the hell is she doing? And she ends up going on the scene. So we have our Asian fireman and our beautiful bald sister fireman there, and they show up first. And of course, the Asian guy, he don't have it for animals, period. Remember the snakes? In the first episode, he's like, I ain't got that to do. Well, these dogs, he ain't have them to do either. So he kind of like backed out. Athena shows up. The two of them get in there. They diffuse the situation. We get in there. There's this black guy. He's up on top of the counter. Sharp. People were cute. He up on top of the counter. And there's these dogs. They got him up there. He's like, these are like hellhounds. This, that, thing, and the other. So we figured the dogs have actually turned on him. So they basically lure the dogs away with the food. Is what they did. Locked them up. Ended up getting the Humane Society to come on out. And animal control, and they came and they got the dogs and everything, and they was like, check them for rabies, this, that, thing, and the other. And in the midst of all that, you can see they had actually chewed up a part of his arm. Um, Not too bad, just it got him a little bit, and he started flirting at Athena, and there was a whole conversation. He ended up going about his business. Um, they're standing there talking, and she's like, "Girl, what was that all about?" Our bald sister, fireman. They're going back and forth, and she's like, "Girl, you need to, things are what they are. You're married, so I'm married. He seen my ring. He didn't care nothing about it." She's like, "He fine, girl. Don't make no difference because your husband likes men. So who cares? That the marriage is over, girl. It's time to move on. Let yourself out of it. You're gonna this." Let yourself out of it. So they're going through that. And then she thought about it. She said, "When you got here, was this back door open?" And she said, "Yeah, that's how we entered through the back door." She said, You don't know about the front door." She said, "So once everything got started, he left through the front door, not through this back door like us. He went on and he left through the front door." And she thought about it. She said, "Okay." And it went tipped her off. There was this man pulling up. He's pulling up. And she's looking at him. And the man is of Latin descent. And she's like, "Yeah, he was a burglar. He was actually a burglar. The dogs were nothing wrong with the dogs. The dogs were doing exactly what they were supposed to do." And it was funny because the first thing that the guy said was, "Put him down. Do you have a gun? Shoot him." Because they weren't his. They weren't his. And that was like the tip off, because most people, even when they have dogs and stuff, even when the dogs turn on them, the last resort is to put them down. They don't want you putting their animals down. Here he was a burglar. They were just doing what they were supposed to be doing, and he got away. So I said, that ain't gonna go over. She gonna get his ass later, okay? So whatever, just hang on with me. Okay, so then we go. Buck actually goes to the funeral for the young man that died in the roller coaster situation, and he ends up talking. And there were some things that Abby had actually spoken to him about, like she had told him, everybody doesn't want to be saved. Everybody don't want to be saved, and sometimes people take that instance to go ahead and do what it is that they want to do anyway. When he was explaining to her what had happened when they were up there and all of that, she was exactly right. She was exactly right, because I picked up on it, at the beginning. He was somewhat right. So the sister approaches Buckley during the, right after the memorial. And she says, "What happened up there with my brother?" And he said, "I don't know. He just wouldn't reach out and grab my hand." She's like, "It's like he gave up." And she's like, "So are you blaming my brother? You're saying it's his fault?" "Oh, no, you failed him. It is your fault, this, that, and the other." So this just took back into another tailspin into all of this. Later on, Bobby, Chief Bobby ends up telling him, he directs him to go to a psychologist. You need to go to a psychologist. Tells him about the first time he lost a person. So you need to go ahead to a psychologist, talk to them and see what's, you need to, this is what you need to do. Well, old Buck, he goes to a psychologist, and then he's looking at her, and he says to her, they're talking. They're talking at first. And she's sitting, psychologist generally, she's sitting in a chair, and he's sitting on the couch. Well, she has eased her way over, because he's going into, first he was kind of closed off. Then he started up a little bit. So she didn't ease her way up to him. I'm like, that's a different approach. Because usually they don't approach you. They let you go through what you're going through, because they're watching all of your body language. But she had eased up on him, she's over there, cute little girl. And he says to her, "Do I know you? Did you send me a Facebook request?" And she's like, "Yeah, but that was before all of this had actually happened. I had done that. So just ignore that, like that hadn't happened, this, that, and the other." Child, next thing you know, we see he is slamming the pipe to her, okay? I said, oh boy, so here we go. So that just threw that whole thing off. And then she tells him, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This was so much." As soon as he popped off at her, she's like, "This is so unprofessional. Please leave." He "I don't know. I feel better now." You know how he is. And he literally does have a little sex addiction. He really does. So that's that. So he leaves off from that. I said, oh my God. So let's go over. There's another situation happening with a psychologist, and that is Athena and her husband. They're actually having some counseling done. And through their counsel, she's saying, I feel like a fool. And I don't like to be made to look like a goddamn fool. That is what my problem. I'm very angry because I feel like you made a fool of me. And then what you're saying to me afterwards, I really made a fool of myself because I knew you were gay, but I loved you so much that I felt like basically I could change you and make a life. Well, there's a lot of females do this. It just kind of is what it is because attraction is attraction. And it's very easy for a female to be attracted to a gay male because it is an animalistic thing, that whole attraction. It don't have anything to do with you as a person. The first thing is all animalistic. So then all the other stuff falls in. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because even me, as gay as you all know I am, I still have females who find me attractive and different things like that. It happens. It happens. It just is what it is. Like I told you, I don't, it's all in what you do with it. Okay. And I think this is what their situation was. It's all in what you do with it. Just like I know for a fact that I am not sexually attracted to women. But when I see a woman who, I know I know when I run into a bad bitch. I mean, it is what it is. I know what it is. I know what's pleasing to the eye. That's still there. And I'm not bisexual or anything like that. And I do not have an attraction sexually to women. But I know when I run into a bad bitch. That's how you always hear me talk about the new character on Love and Hip Hop, that Amara La Negra. That bitch is bad. And you can't help but I think everybody's attracted to her. It just is what it is. She is beautiful. But it ain't the same attraction as when I see, like, let's see who we give another name. Never mind, we're going to leave that alone. One of the other ones, the little guys that y'all know that I go in about. We ain't going to go there today. I don't feel like going through all that. But the attraction's a little bit different. There's extra shit and extra layers to it. So this is what their whole situation was. She knew in her core he's gay, but she had this little thing where, I could fix him. And you couldn't fix it, baby. And that was it. So she said, you know what? I love you, because he told her, he still was that piece for her. He told her, you're nobody's fool. You're beautiful. You're strong. You're an excellent mother. It's me. I'm the fool. I'm the one who thought I could get in there and let you change. See, they both had a part in this. I felt like I could let you change me. So it was, it was a whole thing. He wanted to get away from who he was. She wanted to take him away from who he was, but they just never actually sat out and said it out loud. And the shit didn't work because it can't work. If you gay, you gay. And it don't matter what you do, you gay. The church can't turn you back. Nobody's shocking you with no electro shit. Can't turn you back. Child, the only thing that can help you out if you gay is a man. Okay? Or a woman, or whatever part you're playing. If you're a woman, only thing that can satisfy you is another woman. If you are gay or lesbian, it is what it is. That's just part of it. It just is what it is. Period. Can't fix it. So that's that. So she says, you know what? I love you, so it don't matter what I could do. She's like, I can't do a loveless marriage. But I could definitely do a sexless marriage. That's no big deal because it's kind of where we're at anyway. So if you are willing to do celibacy and I'm willing to do celibacy, we could be cool and just continue on doing what we're doing because we do love each other. And they both pointed that out. And he's like, oh, geez, okay. Wait a minute, you going the other way. And that's when he let her know, I'm sorry. I found somebody. I've met somebody. So that just kind of brought her world to a crash. So she kind of was like, okay, so there's going to be a whole nother issue of dealing with that. In the midst of that, we saw in the beginning of the program, her daughter, we seen it last week, her daughter's having more of an issue dealing with it than the son. Daughter's like wrapped with all the, oh my God, what are people going to say and all of that. And she's like starting to withdraw from them and, oh, I'm feeling sick. I don't want to go to school. She's going through it. And it's more about what other people are feeling or what other people are going to say. Weak. So, yeah, weak, but whatever. It is what it is. She's the one that should be sitting in counseling. So that was that. So the next thing we see Athena. So she, that displaced anger I talk about all the time. Athena goes out. We see her work. She rolling on the beat, and she's calling this guy, and she's talking to him. She's like, "Hey, baby, what's going on? You remember me?" He like, "No, I remember who this is." She like, "Yeah, remember you told me when I need to see a real man to get in touch with you, and this, that thing, and the other." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what you have to refresh my memory?" She's like, "Baby, you like dogs, don't you?" And we see him walking out of the store. She got the drop on him. It's the guy, the burglar. So he's walking and he's looking around. He's like, "Where are you?" She said, "I'm close." And she's like, whatever. So she's ends up, he notices her in the car, and she's like, He tries to run. She gets him down. The cops are on him. She stops. We go to try to jump this fence. She pull out the car. She jump up there and child, when I tell you, she ran up there and grabbed him like a man and slammed his ass around and bammed him. And they was like, okay. The cops got him and handcuffed him. And he's like, "You called 911, you dumbass." He called 911 from his cell phone. So they just tracked him and they got him. So they got him. But I was laughing because that's what she said. "You thought you could make a fool out of me?" And I'm laughing. I said, "Look at that displaced anger. Now you mad as hell at your husband, but you love him, so you ain't gonna bang him around." But she banged the shit out of old boy. Yes, so that was pretty funny. But she took care of all that with him. Okay, so let's go to another case. They have another case where there's a jumper. There's a jumper. He's up like 20 feet up, 20 floors up. And the girlfriend done cheated on him, honey. She's over on the balcony at the other person's apartment trying to talk him down, but she's just a bitch. She really is. She's like, "I did," she's telling him, "I didn't do it, this, that, thing, and other." On and on. So she's like, "Just get down and we can talk about it," and this, that, thing, and the other. And so by the time we get there, there is Bobby is going up. Bobby tells Buck, "You got to go do the procedure." He's like, no. Because there was another situation earlier on with a window washer who ended up, his strap snapped and he was hanging by his foot. And they were going to send Buck on top of the building to actually lower down and to save him. And Buck froze because he was still stuck in that, "Oh my God, I lost somebody. I don't want to lose somebody else." And he just kind of froze and he didn't do it. They got it done, but he didn't do it. So Bobby on this one told him, "Go ahead, go. No, I don't want to hear it. Go ahead, you got it, go." So he went on up there. They get over there, and it's so funny because they're talking back and forth. The girl just getting frustrated. She's like, "Well, if you just ain't gonna believe me, then you might as well goddamn jump." I said, that bitch is guilty. She guilty. That whore done did it. She did it, and she just out of order. And so Bob was like, "Well, that ain't helping." So he starts telling them, telling the story. Like, "Let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you where I was, where you were, where you are right now. My girlfriend, we were engaged, blah, 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 this, that, thing, and the other." Started telling them the story. And in the meantime, Buck is actually descending from the roof, and the guy don't even see him. And he's telling the story. He never gets to the end of the story because Buck literally swing down like fucking Batman and kicks his ass off of the ledge back inside. He kicked the shit out of him back inside of the into the apartment. He kicked him completely off of the balcony into the apartment. So they saved him. And did I don't know if this is in all states. This is a little off the record, but I don't know if in all states, it's against the law to be jumping off of shit. Like, there's an issue. If you're calling yourself committing suicide, jumping off of bridges, jumping off of buildings and things like that, it's against the law. I need to check that. But I know that in a lot of states it is. I don't know if it is in every state, but it is against the law. You go talk about you jumping off of bridges, shit like that, they're going to lock you up. They lock you up. When they save you, your problems are just beginning. They lock your black ass up. You ain't dying, bitch, and you going to jail. Jail or to the nut farm. They lock you up. I'm gonna check that out. Anyway, here we go again. But boom, boom, bam. And look at how much time we're going by. I'm sorry, y'all. Whatever. I like this show. So if you like this show and you like me, keep on listening. If not, then go on and click out. I know y'all ain't clicking out, child. Let's keep talking. Anyway, so yeah, so they got that together, and I'm laughing because old simple ass girl was gonna say to Bobby, Captain Bobby, well, whatever happened? He was like, what are you talking about? She's like, because he just stopped talking once, and she's like, well, I mean, the rest of the story, he's like, I don't know, I never get that far, I never told the rest of the story, and he walks on out. I said, oh, I should have smacked her in her head with her lying self, cheating whore. So that was that. I thought that was pretty funny. So they're back at the fire hall and the fire station. The sister from the funeral shows up, and they end up talking. She talks to Buck and apologizes. She apologizes, and she starts to open up about the brother. And it was just like I thought. That brother was a shut-in. He was suicidal. He had already had some suicide attempts a few years back, and then he was falling into that depression again. He had just a couple weeks before attempted suicide, and he had become shut in and withdrawn and all of this. And she felt as though she said, I'm wrong because I put it off on you, and it really was my fault because I pushed him to go to the fair, to come out, and I pushed his friend to go take him to the fair. So it really is, it's my fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault either. Some people you can't save. So they both helped each other at that point. I was like, oh, wow, that's deep. So that was that. So we move from there. We get another scene where Abby is out. Abby and Carla, they're going so good. They took the mom out. She got her all dressed up, dolled up, and went out to eat and everything. Mother doing real good with Carla. Everything's going really good with them. They're out eating and everything, and there she's talking to her about Buck again. And she's saying, you need to call him. You need to call him. You need to go on a date. You need to go somewhere and have yourself a good time. I said, I got Mama, ain't no thing. I said, call him. So she goes and she calls him. And they talk, and he ended up asking her, how old are you? And she's like, she kind of deflects. And he says, you know what? And I'm just, he's like, because you're different. We don't really talk on the phone. Most of the time people be texting. You do things like really old fashioned. And she's like, I'm a little older than you. Yeah, I'm old fashioned. That's what I do. I'm an operator. So I'm used to talking on the phone. But she never said like how much older. But he's like, well, it sounds like, you're asking me on a date. And she's like, yeah. And he told her no. He declined the date. And she's like, okay. And he's like, and I'll tell you why. And he told her, I have a little issue. And I know that if we went on a date 9 times out of 10, we're going to sleep together. And I don't want to do that. And she was like, okay. And you can tell she's that kind of getting in her feelings like, okay, so he's basically, you're telling me like you're such hot shit that you sleep with all your dates. And now I'm a little older. So you're basically telling me that you ain't going to want to sleep with me. So you don't want to go out because there ain't no chance to sleep with me. And she's like, well, first of all, I'm kind of telling you from the door, you wouldn't get to sleep with me right off the bat anyway, because I'm not that kind of girl, and well, whatever. And he's like, no, let me explain. He's like, I just slept with my therapist right on my first appointment and all that. I'm like, oh my God, he's too forthcoming. So he tells her that, and he's like, I have an issue, he said, and I'm telling you these things because I really enjoy talking to you. I don't have anybody else to talk to like you. So for right now, I would like to just keep you where I can talk to you on the phone. And I was like, oh, okay. So she's like, all right. So then she goes back to the table. She's talking to Carla, and she tells Carla's like, what the hell? So she told Carla, you know what? Sometimes I know for all the right reasons is better than a yes with all the wrong intention. I said, you got that right. So that was cute. I was like, okay, all right, cool. So that's that. Okay, last thing, and then we're going to get off here because I've been talking too damn long. Last thing, Athena, she goes home. The kids are there. The dad hadn't got home just yet. And she was, a little smug. She said, the little boy said, "Oh, Daddy's not coming." To about the daughter. The sister told him, "Oh, we cool here. Don't even worry about it." And he said he would be late. And she told him, "Don't worry about it. The mom will be home, so or whatever." So the little boy's out there playing, in the living room, and the sister's up in the room. And Athena going, she's talking to her in a groin saying that. So she goes, but she opens up the door, and you see the pill bottle on the floor. She then took all these pills and then tried to commit suicide, and we don't know what's going to go on because she is not responding. And we see the 911 call going out, and Athena's like, "Oh my God." So we don't know. We're just like hung. We don't know whether the little girl's going to make it or she ain't going to make it. So, and knowing Ryan Murphy the way we know Ryan Murphy, she may not actually make it. So I don't want y'all to be too shocked next week because, again, if I was writing, what would happen, don't you? But anyway, all right, so that was it. That was it. I love this 911. And I'll catch you guys next Wednesday. All right, bye.